Welcome to the shooting show. This week it's a game of two halves. We're shooting grouse over pointers, and first up Davy Thomas shows us some slick dog work, and in the second part of the show the shooting really hots up with grouse after grouse falling to the guns.
Benefit of those that haven't done this before, it's probably one of the oldest sort of forms of grouse shooting. Probably one of the most sociable and safe actually, because largely the way that we work our pointers here is I actually kind of want you to walk behind in a group. Your barrel's broken, empty of cartridges, but to keep it sort of sporting, when we walk up a point we actually do it in teams of two. So the best thing to do now is just organise yourself into two teams. So we've got 4 guns here today, so if you want say Mark and Ruth, you could go in as a group, and then James and Gary, you could go in as a group, so that way you sort of shoot in rotation. Basically, if everyone walks along behind, don't mind if you want to talk, chat, enjoy the day, but obviously not too much noise. Alex will look at you. But no, there's seriously if you want to do that, then that's absolutely fine. But give me 20 yards lead, because the dog's kind of looking back for me and kind of signals and all the rest of it. When we get a point, it depends. So we've got an easterly wind today, so we're going to head out and shoot this piece of moor. When we get a point, we'll basically get up to where I think, if we've got a side wind and we bring the dog down there, then we'll walk it in here. But basically what we do is I'll bring one gun to my left, say like each time for argument's sake, if Ruth, if you wanted to go to my left and Mark can go to my right. I want you about sort of say 15-20 yards either side of me, and we'll go in a line, and we'll basically go in at the same pace as the dog, as I'm working the dog forward, okay? And the main reason for that is if we overtake the dog, if the birds are sitting tight, the bird gets back. If you've overtaken the dog, the bird gets it, and the first thing it sees is your back, and it'll head back towards the group. It goes without saying the rest of the group will be behind, so no shots back, absolutely at all. So, but you know where the dog is, so you're absolutely safe to shoot forward, and obviously on your side where nobody else is. So that should be fine. Walking up a point, a few hints and tips. Basically, Gary, if you're me and the dog's on there, grouse contour when they fly, so you don't actually want to be down in a hole, okay? To give yourself a much better chance of a shot, you want to be way up on a high bit. I'll keep you right as we go, but get yourself up on a high bit like this, and then that gives you the best chance. I think I would be right in saying the number one cause of missing for people shooting grouse is not picking a bird in that covey. There's it's a quiet moorland, all of a sudden, boom, you get a covey of birds explode, and basically, I say it time and time again, people, they just aim into the covey and hope for the best. Pick your birds, and if you get a bird and it falls, go for another bird, okay? So there's that. Any questions on that? No? Okay, that's fine. When the dog's on point, I wouldn't dilly-dally. Do kind of you'll get to me sort of fairly quickly. Sometimes in these east winds, they can be a bit jumpy, the birds. So we'll just kind of see, if everyone can come in. Alex, from a picking up point of view, if you can just keep your dog in until we fully work the point out, and I'll just turn on. I'll give you a nod. And we've got another couple of dogs here as well, so that's fine. Any questions? Okay, good. That's fine. be on the top of that bump. Just watch where me and the dogs are. There you go. Well done. You got one there. Try and be quicker.
That's the first grouse in the bag. James has warmed his barrels, and now it's up to the other guns to see if they can follow suit.
Well done. Good. Okay, good. Ollie. You get it? Yeah. Well done.
Mark follows it up to make it a brace.
It's obviously something that was jumped before we got over that hill. Ollie, come on. But you've got to try.
The team head to the bothy for a lunch delivered in traditional panniers on a Highland garran. Suitably refreshed, the dogs, keepers and guns head back out to see what the afternoon has in store. The hard-working Ollie soon has another point, but the guns will have to skirt round the wind to take advantage of it.
See where the dog is. See. He's just there. Follow this gully down. Go to the dog. Go about 10 yards below him. Okay. Just go to the left. Yep, forward. That was you, Ruth.
Is that me?
Yeah, that was you. Well done. There's a covey jump.
You can't see me. Kelly. Can you not see me?
Maybe the first of many.
Thank you. There it is.
Ruth has achieved her first grouse, but the day isn't over yet. There is still a chance to add to the game bag.
The less fertile they get. So if you ideally remove the old bird from the covey, then next year the ground that him and his wife are taking up, you could have a couple of young birds in there that will give you a much bigger covey, you know. So the younger the stock are, the more productive they are, basically. So well done.
One day.
Looks younger.
One. Dead.
It's a shame we never got Ruth then on that as well.
That's another one accounted for, but the next bird proves to be a wily customer and breaks behind the guns.
Ollie. Whoa. No. Ollie.
Davy casts Ollie off once again, the pointer soon picking up the scent of a new covey. Ruth had to her initial success to make a brace for her gun, while her point teammates Mark and Labrador Paddy make the retrieve.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. See that? Do that again. And then it's the same as it. James. You get one?
After a long day on the moor, the 4 guns finished with 4 brace to their names, and another day with Davy and his pointers to look forward to tomorrow. Davy there showing us how pointers do the do, and if you thought that was fun, wait till you see the shooting in the second half of the show. And now, the shooting show news.
This is the Shooting Show News, brought to you by gunbid.co.uk. Fears about tighter gun controls in Scotland persist even after it delivered a no vote on independence. The SNP is still committed to an airgun licensing programme and could push for devolution of shotgun and firearm licensing too. Basque Scotland called for the Scottish Government to support shooting. Colin Shedden said shooting supports 4.5 million hectares of land in Scotland. The controversial shoe before you shoot amendment to the general licence has been dropped. Natural England said it would not proceed with the amendment, which would require pest controllers to show they had tried non-lethal methods of control before shooting. It deferred decisions on a number of other changes to the licence. Basque Chairman Alan Jarrett praised Natural England for what he called a common-sense decision. Running a shoot has got more expensive again. That's the headline of the latest shoot benchmarking survey. Fixed and variable costs have both risen, and it's also £2 a bird more expensive to shoot. Smith Score, which conducted the survey, said shoots need to focus on cost control to see a profit, but despite this, optimism remains high and bookings are up. Read more in Modern Gamekeeping magazine. Firearms fee increases are in the news again, but Basque has warned that the fee must be set on the basis of sound evidence. Basque Chief Executive Richard Ali admitted that an increase was due, but said that police needed to merit it by reducing their costs and delivering a better service. He said an agreement on fees should be reached in the near future. And finally, the 2015 Shooter's Diary is out, and this year it's purple. The 110th edition of the limited diary, it's released by Ely Hawke and raises funds for the Stroke Association. £1 from every diary goes to the charity, and Ely will double the total raised. Diaries cost £9. Contact Ely Hawke for more information. That was the Shooting Show News.
It's our second day at the grouse, and we return to the Black Corries estate, well rested from our exploits the day before. Taking the 4x4s up the hill road on the estate, we take a different route and head towards the loch to try fresh ground. We dump our packs in the remote bothy, taking our new surroundings and listen to Davy's safety brief before loading up, all eager to engage in Davy's new grouse strategy for the day.
We've shot these flats here, but we've not shot the top of there yet. And I want to get into there today. So we're going to do a loop out there. The wind's unfortunately going to be on our back. There's not a lot we can do about that to start with, but then coming back in for lunch we'll finish up here. So then in the afternoon we're going to go up this side and do another loop around the top. See how we do? Brilliant. Okay, let's get some dogs.
Working with the same dog team as the day before, Davy tirelessly coordinates the pointers, Moss and his main dog Ollie. Retrievers Pickle, Todd and Tilly play a support role, waiting patiently for their turn to work and retrieve the shot grouse. But first, we need a point and flush. Ollie suddenly goes on point and the first team of guns take their positions. I take Davy's right as he urges Ollie forward, while James takes the left flank. Slowly we advance together.
That bird's hit. Good girl. Come on.
Just a few minutes into the day and we already have a bird in the game bag, but there's no time to celebrate. Ollie goes on point once more. Ruth and Mark are next up.
Ruth just come up to the left.
Yes, forward. Get one.
It's not that hit that hard, no.
Well, I kind of lost it behind this bank, Mark, but it was still going strong.
A prick bird goes a long way, making the support dogs work hard for the retrieve, but Tilly finally wins the honours and brings it to hand. The next successful point sees James and I load the barrels again.
Shot. Mossy. Moss.
After missing a flush covey to my immediate right minutes before, it was time for some sharp shooting to secure another brace.
James, you go well left of that bump there. Pete, I would go about 5 yards to the left of the dog. I would load up now. Over that, no?
Got it.
Hold on.
Dignity restored. The morning turns into quite an eventful shoot, as Ruth and Mark take another brace, bringing our total to 3 brace before lunch.
Just stay where you are for a minute. Just gonna get
Get up, pick up. Where is it? Pick up, pick up. Forward. Yeah, well done, Rose. Yeah.
As we follow the track to the bothy, the day becomes mild and balmy. There'll be no garran waiting for us with our pieces this time, but the view more than makes up for it.
Has anyone got water or juice on?
There you go, just a second.
Oh, I thought you pointed at James. Oh, James got some juice.
The stove makes for a cosy bothy to retire to for our lunch. We find that once both man and dog are well fed and watered, the wind has changed. The breeze had been in a favourable quarter during the morning, enabling us to work into the wind and come up to the point behind the dogs. Unfortunately, the change in direction will make things a little more awkward, as the birds will be between us and the pointers. Davy decides to take the dogs east across the burn and work them back in a long loop toward the bothy in the west to better our chances. It seems to work, and Ollie soon goes on point. James takes left gun once more.
Pushed on. Well, it could roll all day. There. Okay, maybe it's just on that next grassy bump.
Cod.
Davy casts Ollie on again for what would turn into quite an exciting afternoon.
Yes, forward.
After some quick shooting from yours truly, we have another grouse for the pot. This bird was a strong one too. It's vital to mark hit birds well and have well-trained retrievers on hand to locate and dispatch any runners as quickly as possible. Next, Ollie sent some flighty birds. The pair flushes taking Ruth unawares. Mark lets them arc across to his side before carefully choosing his bird.
You got it? I think he's pecking at it. He's just gonna go. Ta.
By now the game bag has swelled somewhat, making a happy team all round. Davy has taken in a huge loop across the moorland, bringing us back towards the bothy and directly into the wind. Ideal conditions for the last point of the day. James and I make our way to Ollie.
There goes snipe! Well done.
Snipe are exceptionally difficult to shoot due to their small size and fast flight. As you can imagine, that last shot made my day. Now back to the lodge with weary legs, a full game bag and good humour at a job well done. It's a good percentage of young birds to older ones, with my prize snipe adding something a little extra. These birds are all destined for the table. The guests at the lodge will be in for quite the treat in the next day or two. Seared grouse breast with red currant glaze and a magnificent game pie are on the menu. My snipe will make a delicate starter or add that something extra to a rich pie. An excellent end to a very interesting and fulfilling excursion at the grouse, all done in the traditional way with talented dogs and dedicated keepers. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And if you're not a member of Basque, it's time to join now. Basque, looking after your sport, looking after you. But stay tuned for just one more minute because Muffin Jones, aka Davy Thomas, plays us out from the Highlands.